Hey guys, it's Brandon Woolham, and today we are chatting with our friend Grace Graber. How are you, Grace?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm enjoying this Nashville weather with you.
Yes, it's so nice out. I'm gonna go for a walk later. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's a fun week for you. Punk Times Praise is going to be out this Friday, April 10th. We'll talk about that new music here in just a few, but this is the first time I've been able to get you on this brand. So a lot of these people probably do not know the Grace Graber story. So let's give the cliff notes of Grace's background here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Cliff notes. When I was 12 years old, I was diagnosed with PTSD, depression, anxiety after being physically assaulted by girls in middle school. Fun times, and it was actually an old Hawk Nelson song that stopped me from taking my own life one night. And now I get the honor of being like Hawk Nelson's little sister and the pop punk princess of Christian music, and that's like really like the core of like need to know is I was a fan first. Christian music saved my life, and now I get to do all of it myself. So
Yeah, you've been teasing us with these punk rock versions of worship songs for the past few months. Now it all comes together in an 8-track album out this Friday, April 10th. When did you know this needed to be a full project and not just a series of these singles that were hitting social media?
when someone like at a show cut me a check to do it. Like no, I'm so grateful. I knew it was probably gonna be something like after Lemonade came out because the response immediately like that was a joke. I totally did that as a joke to begin with. This was an accident. I was going to do like a series of like online where it's like, what if this went punk? Just for fun to see what happens. I did it with Josiah Prince. He and I were actually working on a whole other record. And we just were like, one day I was like, I have this idea. I've been wanting to do it for a while. Don't know who to do it with. Would you want to do it with me? So we sat in the studio, worked on like 5 choruses, turned some songs punk, and I got with my media team and we just threw it out into the world, and we did not expect the response that we have gotten. So pretty darn stoked by the response. But like the to begin with, we started with Lemonade by Forrest Frank, and it was just supposed to be playful and a joke, and then people were like, we want the full thing. And we at the time it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of like the fact that we probably need to make this like if this has to happen, how do we jump on this so fast? Because the demand was so immediate, and that's the most stressful thing I've learned for an artist now with social media. You should probably have it ready to go if you're going to tease it at all. So I immediately called Josiah up and was like, what do we do? Like, what do I do? And we got something figured out and put it out in the world. And then it was like, well, if I'm doing that, um, I should probably anticipate needing to do like a project. And at a show one day, I just announced from the stage, like, hey, I feel like I'm being led to do this project. And like a fan like helped fund it. And it was like one of those moments where you're like, okay, God really wants me to do it. He's giving me no excuse because it's like, I want my money to go to like my original music or I want this. And like God just said, hey, I'm going to provide and you're going to do it. And so, like, to be honest, around this time, I was already planning of like leaking a whole different album and what had masters done for this next album, which could get pushed out, but to be honest with you again, so much has been happening that like that's gonna push out even more. Like more things are getting pushed out. So the Lord has just wrecked my plans as He always does, and I just feel like the luckiest girl on earth to be known for this genre in Christian music because it saved my life, and like I was absolutely like just in love with all the early 2000s Christian rock bands and to be like a part of like Christian pop punk now, next to those names is like really, really cool. So
Yeah, God has kind of set you down a path that's opposite for most Nashville musicians. Most of our friends here in town have to play Broadway and play covers to finance their original music. Completely backwards for you. You're playing originals out there live, and it's going to finance this covers record. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I mean like I work a job too, so like Like I always figure out how to make it work, and that was the thing, but God just figured out how to make it work for me. And so it was like, okay, I should probably do this, and that means it's wanted. And then I mean the response online after that, like actually being given that freedom of like that, okay, I'm not restricted here, so let me get this done. And now seeing the response for all the songs that we have been doing, like it's just growing, and it's just like obvious. Like eventually I'll probably do a volume 2, but it's just obvious that this genre is so desired in Christian music, and not like it hadn't been like done yet recently. And so people, I feel like people always, want like the more alternative sound, but it just takes one thing to show you it can work, and then it just like domino effect. So
Yeah, well, Volume 1 got us 8 songs. How did you narrow down which 8 songs we were going to hear on this album?
by the sharing number on Instagram. Actually, I sat down, I posted all the covers, and I got the specs from all the covers. I posted them the same day, same time, and the ones that had the highest interaction was what we went with, cuz Counting My Blessings was like on there for me. Like I wanted to do it, but like it every time I post it, it was not the same immediate like response as like all the other ones. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go with what's showing it works. And then like if let's say I post a cover of Counting My Blessings again next year and it just rocks the charts, like okay, let's try that again. And so honestly, I let them all compete for a spot for themselves, so I didn't have to decide. So it was kind of like heartbreaking to like break it to one of the writers of Counting My Blessings. He was like, I hope this makes the album, and I was like, I'm so sorry it did not. Like I was like, I felt so embarrassed, but at the same time, like I could only do so many. And in fact, like Blake, so I finished the project and it was only supposed to be 6 songs. It was only supposed to be an EP, but my long-term stand-in producer, Blake Cross, I wanted to do Gratitude. Like I just knew in my heart of hearts I had to do Gratitude. I can't put the finger on the feeling, like it just like I knew I had to. And so he made it really easy for me to do that. He came alongside because Josiah was on Winter Jam by the time I wanted to do it. Um and so he made it really easy for me. And then we had like a mentor of mine go like, you should probably put an original song on there too. Like you don't know what something would do. And I was like, which one would you put? And they said Why I Still Believe out of like my catalog that hadn't released yet. And so I trusted them on this, and it just makes so much sense because Why I Still Believe is like a reflection of like, this is the thing that like God knows me so well. This is the thing that I'm good at. And I believe in God because he has been so intentional with those things in me. Like he's been so intentional of making me feel seen. And so like to be honest, to do a whole cover album that's pop punk and then be able to reflect on like, man, this is why I still believe in a God, because I've never felt more seen in my life. So
Yeah, that's awesome. We've mentioned a few times here, we both live here in the Nashville area where many of these songwriters and artists who sing these songs reside. How many of these original artists and songwriters have got to hear the Grace Graber version of the track that they put out there?
I hope all of them. I'm pretty sure all of them. The only one I haven't like heard a response from is Forrest, of course. Like no shade at all, but that is probably the only artist. I mean, I actually was at a location and Lauren Daigle was there and I didn't know what to do, so I just screamed, "What if Lauren Daigle went punk?" And she looked at me and she went, "Oh my gosh, it's you." And it was like the cool, like everyone around me was like, that was epic. Like it was like you could like, oh my gosh, this is what Grace is going to be known for. And so most likely now when I'm at red carpet events, I'm probably just going to greet people like, like what if Brandon Lake went punk, like, and but it's been really cool, like cuz these artists like they love it. Like I have artists reaching out to me now to ask if I would do it. And it's like, oh gosh, I don't want it to go viral and then I have to get it done. So so I mean, like, that's just like the honest truth. But that's how Ren Collective. That's how I got the cover with Ren Collective and them collaborating on that. Is because they reached out to me. They were the first band to reach out to me, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. That they would be like, will you do one of our songs and we'll feature on it? And we killed it. And it's so good. And like the whole like Irish punk thing, like it works so well. So it just is like it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about Josiah a few times here. Josiah Prince. If folks don't know who that is, he is in Disciple, a staple in Christian rock for many, many years. What did working with somebody who knows the rock and roll world bring to this project?
Oh my gosh, it's all him. Like I'm like this project is like him. I did another interview earlier and I was like, I haven't been talking about Josiah enough because truly he was in the band Philmont. And Philmont was definitely like top 5 for me. Like I loved Philmont as a kid. And so when I first moved to town, he was one of the first people I reached out to work with because like I knew he could bring that edge that I was looking for into my music and we had always like kept in contact and when we started writing together, we realized, oh, this is really fun. And he doesn't get to do like pop punk usually, like at all. Like, and so it like ignited like this, oh, I miss this in him. And so again, we were working on a completely different record when we start like when this whole punk times praise thing happened. So we were working on a whole different record. And so to watch this and be able to share with him like okay, this is working is like really cool because like most of these guys, like all these early 2000s Christian pop punk guys, like they don't think it's gonna they don't know if it's gonna work because like no one's proved if it can work or not. And I think it's again the coolest thing in the world as a fan to be like, it works. It works. Like
Yeah, saying that you're going to punkify these worship songs is one thing, but actually doing it has to be a whole nother challenge. Which one of these songs was the hardest to actually bring that kind of sound to?
Lemonade was hard. Lemonade was hard. Um, Dusty Bibles. Okay. Gratitude. What are the other ones? You say. Okay. Which one was hard? This is a really hard question because it was like it felt really like easy. Oh, Oceans. I think Oceans was really hard because it's like such a slow song and it's like where do we go or honestly that's who I praise as well could be up there because that's who I praise is more rock already so but I would say like I probably that's who I praise now that I'm thinking about it because it was already kind of rock like Brandon like has a rock vibe to it. So it was challenging in the aspect of like, how do we make this unique from the original? Like, how do we make this like more fun and playful? Because it's like rock and fun. Brandon's version is like, you know, really like anthemy and big already. So to do a pop punk version is like, how do we tweak this already big rock sounding song and make it like playful. So that was definitely like hard. Yeah, that was hard.
Was there one of these 8 songs that you got the final mix on and you listened to it and you were just like, whoa, that's so much better than I ever imagined it was going to come out?
You say.
Mm.
You say was when we worked on it, you know, like it's everyone's favorite Christian song. Like every woman uh, over the age of 35 has been impacted by the song You Say
Yeah.
by Laura
Some
Daigle.
people don't even know it was a Christian song. They've been impacted by it.
Like yes, exactly. Like everyone knows that song. And for me, I Christian music is like I had a hardened heart toward Christian music. Like as a punk rocker, it's like, where's my place? You know, like where is my place in this? And I really, for a lot of years, ever since moving to town, I really fought for my place. And it was incredible to see the heart posture change when working on these songs because some of these songs I had maybe not listen to the full thing because I was just like, you know, Josiah Queen's just really popular. I just don't want to be like everyone else. You know, I'm just gonna be completely transparent. Like there were some of these songs that I was like, I thought they were lame. Like, and that's because I never gave them a shot. But to reclaim the narrative around these songs, to make them my own, I love the song You Say by Laura Daigle now. I love the original. I love every one of those songs on this project. I was like, I didn't really sit and like let the Lord speak to me through these songs. And I kind of feel bad that I didn't give them a shot. I really do, out of bitterness and like just wanting to be different and not like everybody else. Like I'll admit that. Like a lot of people probably do that or feel that way too. And so You Say hit me like a ton of bricks because it sounds like a Demi Lovato song now. And I love that. Give me Disney Channel. And it hit me like a ton of bricks because I had not let that song impact me yet. And here I am, like, reclaiming it and making it my own. And now I feel such a bond. Same with Gratitude. Gratitude was a song that everyone sings at church. I like it, it's everyone's favorite song. I don't want it to be my favorite song, but to do my own version of it made it so personal to me that now, like, I kinda have a completely different perspective on Christian music as a whole. Like, I really like Christian music. I really like listening to K-Love. I really like because I understand the impact it's making on people now that I've allowed it to just really soften me. And so I think it's kind of punk rock now to like that stuff, you know, because everyone is like, I don't know, I don't know if you feel this way, being in town. Like I feel like Christian music artists don't actually listen to Christian music half the time as a fan. And I did that growing up, and so I missed that. And now that I'm back in a place where it's like I'm gonna listen to K-Love, like, you know, and I like it. I don't hate it. It's been really freeing for me.
Yeah, that's really good stuff that doesn't get talked about a lot. I mean, I think a lot of people in the industry, especially the independent artists, definitely me myself, we struggle with the business side of Christianity, and the corporate Christianity side can sometimes it can just get you down when you think about it. So that's awesome
Yeah,
to hear you coming out
yeah.
with those kind of statements. Obviously, you're a Christian who loves rock music. Rock, also my genre of choice by far. But sometimes in Christian households, parents can push their kids away from Christian rock, that genre. What would be your message to the parent who may not want their kid listening to something that's called Christian rock, and maybe let their kids give it a chance? I came from a household that was that way when I was younger, no matter if it was
Really?
Christian rock. Yeah.
I just like I feel like I it's hard because the world teach the world teaches individuality a specific way, as in like individuality allowing sin and like being okay with things. Like I know for parents there's probably a fear of like that getting misinterpreted, but the reality is the Lord made me to be a pop punk princess. Like the Lord made me as that, and I felt so seen by these Christian pop punk bands. I felt so seen and so known. I mean, if it's a Christian, if go read the lyrics, if these are positive things, these are words of truth and life being instilled into your kids. The Hawk Nelson song that saved my life was not their most popular. It was not their most well known. It was track number 8, and that's because I listened to that thing over and over again, and the lyrics and the truth of those lyrics were instilled in my heart. And so maybe it sounds scary, but look at and read the lyrics first. Maybe give it a shot first, because you never know what nuggets of truth, scripture, that is being spoken over these kids. Maybe they're screaming it, sure, but like that's a style. That's a stylistic choice at that point. And like we're all made to be different, and that is okay. Like it kind of would suck if the like, you know, hands and feet looked like, if my feet looked like we're hands and feet, right? Like we're not the same. I can't walk on my hands. So like some people just aren't built that way, and they might be different. And so to parents, like don't discount how the Lord can work and move and like get a hold of your kids. This is an opportunity for the Lord to get a hold of your kids. And if you're not letting them listen to Christian rock, that's limiting a way that the Lord can get a hold of your kids. And so what's been really cool about all the punk stuff coming out is watching these kids who didn't want to listen to mom and dad's music, like they like Forrest Frank, and then them going, hey honey, listen to this version of the Forrest Frank, and then these kids are like, oh, I love that. Oh, that's so cool. And then they're putting two together, and their parents are able to now bond with them, because most millennials nowadays, they're having kids, and their kids are like 7, 8, 9, and so just to watch the bond that it's been creating in families. And then what we also is like crazy is we don't know, these kids might really love that, hear something by someone else later that is more alternative, and go, I remember really liking that, and that felt like nostalgic. I will be nostalgia one day for these kids, which is wild. So I just don't discount how God can move. Like, because I didn't think when I did these covers and did like punk music that it'd be like, I'd be getting DMs going, I'm willing to go back to church knowing there's people like you out there. I did not anticipate getting DMs like that, because that was not my original intention. My original intention was to just be myself and have fun. And then look what God does with that obedience. So just be obedient to what, like, I don't know, just, yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that same argument can cross over to Christian hip hop too. Oftentimes, when I
Yes.
post something about Christian hip hop, there's definitely going to be a crowd that laughs
I want to meet these
and
families.
and
They
talks
need to
about,
come to a Grace Graver
yeah.
show. Gosh.
Yeah, or go talk to KB if you see him out. He's one of the most Jesus talking men I've ever ran across in the music industry, and he sings Christian hip hop. So don't just
Well,
push
and
music away because of the genre.
can I tell you, some of these artists, like the reason why we're like so on fire for Christ is because we found our identity
Mm.
in Christ. I have found something that I know that the Lord of the universe sees, and he thinks of me when he thought of me when he created this genre in Christian music. Like, he thought of me. And my identity is in Christ, and I've learned that like it's okay to be Hawk Nelson's number one fan and get on interviews and talk about it. Like, it's like that's how God made me. God made me to be like this intense female rocker. And I've learned that I've accepted that that's how God made me, by getting in the presence of God. So I think to your point, some of the strongest Christians I've met are always like the most like artsy fartsy, like very unique people. And that's because we just have this confidence in who God is and who God made us to be. And that will rub off on the kids. So,
Yeah, it's something that gets overlooked by some of the church crowds sometimes is the folks like us that listen to rock music and hip hop music and genres that aren't necessarily praise and worship. A lot of times those are the outsiders and the kids that are sitting in the pew quietly dealing with some serious mental health issues and
yep.
struggles that some of this music addresses. As somebody like you who has been very open about that, what would you say to that kid who's sitting at the back of the church and struggling as they're in their black t-shirt with these kind of things?
Oh, oh, I see you. I see you. I'm here for you. You are so loved. I'm always drawn to those people. Like, my favorite thing to do is go to like metal concerts and like find someone with the eyeliner or like dressed a specific way. I met this beautiful girl. She had this beautiful goth makeup on. And typically people, would just walk right past and kind of look at her weird, but there is a story there. There is a reason why she is so drawn to that look, and there is a reason why she is who she is. And honestly, like, I don't feel like there's anything I need to say. I feel like they need to be listened to. I would say, I see you. Tell me your story. Tell me who you are. When do you feel the most seen? When do you feel the most loved? Because most of the time those kids don't want to be preached at. They don't want they don't want you to just go up to them and just talk to them because because they know they're the misfit. They're sitting there looking like it. They just want to be heard. They want a voice. And so I would go over them and hand them the microphone. It's their time to get a moment where they get to tell you their story. And the reason why they're quiet in the back of the room is because they feel like no one will notice or listen to them. That's why they choose to just go, it's not worth my time anyway. I'm going to sit back here. I'm going to let them do their thing. Why would I put the effort in to do that? A lot of the DMs I get after shows are from the people who were sitting in the back of the room going, I saw how you pulled me in. Like, I saw how you pointed at me. There was a woman on Easter, I got a DM saying that she was getting baptized that day because she was at a Grace Graber concert. And during a part of the song, when I sing You're Not Alone, I looked her in the eye and she gave her life to Christ in that moment because I just looked her in the eye. You just don't know. And I think there's something as Christians there's something about surrendering and going, I don't really know what to say. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to show up and be there. And I'm going to look at them in the eye. And I'm going to acknowledge them. Because then they'll feel empowered to have a voice. She felt empowered to go and accept Jesus. And she's been involved in church. And she's now getting baptized. Like, just by me looking at her. I didn't have the word. I was singing, of course. But like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I see you. But tell me who you are. Tell me those stories. When fans come up after, I had a fan come up and say gratitude saved their lives. Like it saved their life one night. And that song had only been out for 2 weeks. And I looked at him and I said, you were going to take your own life like last week? And he was like, yeah, but your cover came up. And because it was in the genre that it was in, I finally believed the words. I was bawling like a baby. I don't know why I'm not bawling right now. But I knew in that moment because that was one of those songs on this album that I was like, I have to do. It was like that. It was for him. It was for him. And there's just, I don't know. I feel such an urgency as an artist that it's like you have to follow gut feelings like that because it most likely the Lord is going to use it. And yeah, I hope people feel just so seen and so loved and cherished. And I want to I'm creating, I feel like, some space in Christian music for those kids to finally have a little bit of a voice. So
Yeah, and I think more people are doing that now. It's been great to see over these past 10 years or so. I came into the Christian world of music 10 years ago from the secular rock side. And that's
yeah.
one of the things when I came over, I was like, wait a minute, all this music sounds the same. There's no real raw lyrics that are targeting these people or pushing these people into a meeting in the basement of the church because they've done drugs and admitted it to you. We are starting to see that change though. So I've been super excited about seeing Christians embrace some of the kids that are struggling with all the issues that we all struggle with in life. Some people just don't talk about it.
Oh, social media has created kind of a bridge to that gap.
Mhm.
And I think we're seeing it more and more. I almost wonder if like we just didn't have it documented as much. Back in the day, I hear stories of all these old Christian bands and like when fans came up to them and said, "Hey, this song saved my life," and they tell me like you just can't make this stuff up. And I feel like more and more we have an outlet in our hands every day to get that word out there and share those stories and to share our story. And so I think that kind of comes with the territory of the day and age of social media. And it's gonna create space. It's creating space. Like no one has done this like type of punk times praise project because no one's proved that it could work. So why would they chase it? In an industry where it's a business, right? Like why would they chase it if it doesn't work? Well, what's cool is now I've proved it can work. So what doors might this open for? I hope it opens doors for other artists,
Yeah.
not myself, other artists, because this genre needs to come back.
Yeah, I love it. Well, as this album prepares to get out there in the world on Friday, There's another one sitting in there ready to go. What do we know about that album?
Oh
When are we
gosh.
ever going to see this album? I mean, that's got to be tough as an artist. You put your heart and into this recording process, and you don't know if we're ever going to get to hear this album.
It's torture. I literally texted my team because I've been talking about Punk Time Phrase all day, and everyone's asking, what's next? And I'm like, it's torture to say I don't know. I have like some like bizarre, really cool things that are happening right now, in the background that are once again pushing all plans I ever had out of the way. And so there is like a subtle fear in there. I did fight this like last month. I was fighting this really hard because I was like, I have these songs done. No, I'm not gonna budge. And then it's like, well, there's a door right in front of me for something else. And so either you're not gonna budge and you're gonna miss this opportunity, or you gotta pursue. So I this is the first time that I'm like, for the next couple of months, I really don't know. There are really cool things that I can't talk about. So but it's gonna be such a relief when I can, and it's gonna make so much sense when I can. And I will say like Punk Times Praise is just a taste of like the growth that is gonna happen. And I'm just so honored the Lord has brought alongside like some of my favorite people to help me achieve this next season. So yeah.
Yeah, well, while we wait for all that stuff you can't talk about, Hope Times Praise will be out there this Friday. That is April 10th, depending on when you're watching this interview from Grace Graber, Punk Times Praise. Good hanging with you today, Grace.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.